it really is about reflecting your customer service practices when you respond to reviews. And, we found at Yelp through different studies that consumers trust a business more when they see that they respond. And when you get a critical review, they sometimes put that in question if the business responds and addresses it, right? They kind of almost feel like, well, if something happens when I'm there, I'll just bring it up and it'll be solved. And so responding to those reviews is so impactful because it does kind of set expectations or show customers who you are and how you handle different feedback. I have a question for you, DeAndre, before we close out and do rapid fire. Have you ever had a time where you've gotten a review and you were very upset? How did you maybe handle that? Do you have advice when a business owner is struggling with getting some criticism online?
Yeah, so when you get a review that you pretty much not, as happy with, you want to really kind of look at it from the customer's point of view. A great example for a Soul and Smoke is Brisket is king there, and Brisket is a fatty cut, and we used to get online reviews about, brisket being fatty. So you have to so we found ways to kind of like handle that problem. What we did at Soul and Smoke, we actually we offered the customer different cuts of the brisket. It's two cuts of the brisket. You got a fat and you got a lean. At first we just had like just brisket on the menu, but then once we offer them, do they want the lean cut or the fatty cut? It gives them an option on their preference. And honestly, the bad reviews kind of like went away. Because I think it was just all about preference. And educate the customer. That's one way that we handled dealing with a review that wasn't so great.
That example could not be more perfect for what I was looking for because it really highlights that you got this feedback. There's this element of like the criticism is inaccurate because they clearly don't know what the cut is supposed to be like. And I think this happens a lot in restaurants, right? Like there's some subjectivity to if you cook the dish the way it's supposed to be made, but maybe they don't like it that way. And so I really like that you were seeing this pattern. It was more than one customer that made the comment. And instead of just getting mad or writing on there, well, you don't understand, brisket's supposed to be fatty. Yeah, you almost like moved it into the restaurant. And now you're kind of having this education up front. It's like, okay, you're saying you want brisket because we're known for brisket, but do you want it fatty or do you just want to try brisket that isn't fatty? So that example is wonderful. And I think all business owners can take from that you might not make a change based on every piece of critical feedback you get, but it might provide an insight into how a customer is thinking so that you can meet them where they are and get them to really understand what you're trying to put in front of them. So that was a perfect example. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing. I think
yeah,
that
we
was
take
such a good
pride.
lesson.
Yeah, no worries. We take pride. We take pride in everything we do, and like to get that feedback. We got customers. Some customers really like fatty brisket. Some customers don't want as much fat on there, so we just made it an option. It was
I
just
love
that
it. I
simple, and
love
that
it.
fixed everything.
It's really those things that if you're paying attention and not being defensive, but actually just listening because you want to know what a customer thinks, I think that's when you can get some of the best insights.